Well, I mean, part of this inflationary problem is because we put too much money into the economy. There's way too much government spending, and that's why we have inflation. So that's a large part of that. It's just basic economics.
And that is not basic economics. We had this thing called a pandemic. We had a supply chain crisis. And by the way, there's a war in Ukraine.
Played a role. It's played a role.
So to act like the only reason we have problems now is because people got a little bit of money in their bank account is just not honest.
And a little bit of money, they got more than we spent in World War II. So don't act like...
Hold on.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Don't act like... You said don't act. Don't act like we had to react to the pandemic exactly the way we did. We had to spend $6 trillion.
Okay, but how about the trillions that the Federal Reserve shot at Wall Street? For some reason, people don't get upset about that. And that fueled the trillions of dollars the Federal Reserve shot at Wall Street to backstop the stock market and the bond market. No one gets upset about that, even though that was a massive
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean shot at Wall Street?
Well,
what are we talking about?
We're talking about buying.
For a man who's so concerned about government spending, he has no idea that during the height of the pandemic, I'm just going to read from a PBS article, Bill Maher, Federal Reserve to lend additional $1 trillion a day to large banks. March 20th, 2020. You're telling me in March 20th, 2020, you weren't watching the fucking news at all, Bill Maher? Okay, that's surprising to me. The New York Federal Reserve Bank said it will offer $1 trillion of overnight loans a day through the end of the month, Bill. That's like a fucking 12 days away, 11 days away. Okay. So $10 trillion in total, but you're concerned about the fact that we've raised the fucking unemployment to $600 a week and send people a couple of checks for a couple $100,000. That fucking bullshit. This is just how you know he's like a bad faith actor.
Yeah, and acting like the pittance of stimulus money that the American people actually received is somehow to blame for inflation. And we went so overboard giving people what? How much was it in the end of the day? Like $4,000 worth of stimulus checks, right?
It depends on if you had kids or not. But yeah, let's just say $4,000.
Right. And already that's a pittance compared to the rest of the developed world, which basically instituted like a universal basic income during the period of lockdown and when the pandemic was really at its height. We were doing nothing in comparison to that. And also, let's not forget that the 10 richest men doubled their fortunes during the pandemic, while the incomes of the 99% all fell. So that's the real dynamic at play. To act like, the working class, just the average Joe made off with like a fat sack of government money. Meanwhile, the, richest and top corporations didn't. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, damn, that shows you he's been listening to a lot of MSNBC and just a lot of mainstream talking point garbage.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, and also just not, I don't know, selectively paying attention, right? Like, I only want to pay attention to get outraged by the money that helps poor people, because this is a very neoliberal thing. Like, if you give money to the rich people, like that are good rich people, then that's fine. We just don't want to give money to the bad rich people. And they've decided that the good rich people, for whatever reason, are people like Jeff Bezos, who has exploited so many U.S. workers. And I'm sure you saw this going around, Gavin, that they're literally having in-office memos that they're worried they're going to run out of U.S. domestic workers to hire because their turnover rate is so high. I believe it's about 140%. So they're worried that they're going to run out of workers that they can exploit at this country. So guys like him, the good billionaires, the guys like fucking Elon Musk, right? They're the ones that are getting all of this money, because what do the banks do, guys? When you give a fuck ton of money to the bank and the Federal Reserve, what do? They fucking invested in the stock market, right? And what stocks blew the fuck up during the pandemic? Tesla blew the fuck up during the pandemic. Amazon blew the fuck up during the pandemic, right? These guys got richer and richer and richer. And it was with just money that the Fed invented out of thin fucking air, right? You don't think that had anything to do with the situation that we're in right now, where we're totally fucked? Guess what else they used all that money to buy? All the fucking houses that were left in America for the fucking people to buy. After all the banks had already owned the houses from the 2008 financial crash, they were like, you know what? I don't think we have enough houses. Let's start getting super low interest rates from the federal government and use these trillions of dollars to buy homes out the fucking underneath the people, because now people want to actually have homes. The apartment trend is over. People want to have some space. Let's make sure they can't do that unless they have $500,000. Fucking crazy. Go fuck yourself, Bill.
Federal Reserve shot at Wall Street For some reason, people don't get upset about that.
How much?
And that fueled the trillions of dollars the Federal Reserve shot at Wall Street to backstop the stock market and the bond market. No one gets upset about that, even though that was a massive
I don't know
factor
what
in
you're talking
inflation.
about. What do you mean shot at Wall Street?
Well,
when are we talking about?
We're talking about buying assets, buying stocks, buying.
How the fuck does Bill Maher get paid as much as he does to not even know like basic shit? Like if you and I know that, like how the fuck do you not know that, Bill Maher? It's literally your job to know this shit.
No, he does know that. He's playing a fucking role right now. There's no way he selectively. There's no way he didn't know that the fucking Fed rescued the Wall Street during the. There's no way he didn't know that.
I don't know, man. I feel like he might just be so insulated in his echo chamber, his kind of corporate media bubble, only watching mainstream outlets that he genuinely might not remember or know. But, you know, maybe you're right. Maybe he does know and he's just acting dumb. But
I think it's selective memory that.
Possibly. Anyway, genuinely mind-blowing.
About that, even though that was a massive
I don't know what
factor in
you're talking
inflation.
about. What do you mean shot at Wall Street?
Well,
when are we talking about?
We're talking about buying assets, buying stocks, buying bonds, buying treasury bills so that they expand the balance sheet. This is during the crisis, the coronavirus crisis. When the stock market crashed, that is what the Fed did. They went into action. They shot trillions of dollars.
But the stock market didn't crash during COVID.
Now it's crashing. It's crashing now.
It crashed and the Fed came in and backstopped it. That's what happened.
It crashed and we never heard about it?
No, it crashed. Go back and look at it.
I think
it fell off a cliff.
When?
This is all conservatives have. This is all conservative fucking economists have. This is rewriting basic fucking current events, right? I don't even want to call it history. This was a couple fucking years ago. These two fuckers are here being like, the stock market never crashed. Yeah, because it was rescued by the Fed with $1 trillion a day for over a week. You dumb fuck. Okay, you are so thick-headed that you want to be like that guy pissed me off at the beginning of this stream. I didn't mention it, but he really disrespected Krystal for a second. He was like she goes to debate him and he's like, go ahead, play your part. And I'm like, if you talk to me, like, get the fuck out of here, guy. I'm about to shred you with the truth. And you've just lied here with your fucking thumb up your ass, taking talking points from people who are richer than you, right? Like, fuck yourself. So that pissed me off to begin with. And now these people are acting like they have no recollection of what was happening at the height of the pandemic, yet they're authorities to tell people about what screwed the economy. The economy never crashed. Yes. And that's why all the trillionaires got richer. And that's where what do you mean the Fed had $1 trillion a day? The stock market was booming. No fucking shit. If there was a supply chain crisis and everybody's at home and everybody's fucking fired, how could the fucking stock market be booming, you economic genius? Oh, because they printed out a shit ton of money from the government and gave it to the richest people in America. Shocker. They do it all the time.
And backstopped it. That's what happened.
It crashed and we never heard about it?
No, it crashed. Go back and look at it.
I think
it fell off a cliff.
When?
The Treasury bond market stopped functioning and the Fed took extraordinary action it's never taken in history.
I don't
Somehow
remember
no one
that.
gets upset.
The first week of
Somehow nobody gets upset about the rich people who got tons of money and tons of support, way more than working class people did.
Sure,
but
they do.
My God, people were able to feed their kids and they had a little bit of money in their bank accounts. It was the worst thing in the world.
No.
That is one small part of the inflation story. And it is, by the way, not the only thing that we can deal with to get out of this mess.
Well, gas prices.
Biden has
Is it a small part, Jamie?
Gas prices we can largely attribute to.
This guy's completely pivoted. He has completely abandoned his first point, which was the fact that it was government spending to the United States people that's causing inflation. And now he's completely abandoned that point. And he was like, okay, well, I'm going to try and make a different point about inflation. That's how you know he's conceded the argument.
An administration that's been waging war on the fossil fuel industry.
That's ridiculous.
And now
they drilled more than everybody. I mean,
that's the talking point.
U.S. production.
No.
Okay, U.S. production is up.
Well,
it will be at record levels next year.
Okay, well,
the fossil fuel companies themselves are flush with cash, but will not invest in new drilling because they would rather give it to their shareholders.
Okay, all right,
that's the truth of what's happening.
Damn, just coming in here with one truth bomb after another, destroying Bill Maher and this other schmuck, this other elitist asshole on the panel. Just crazy. And it really does show you, without someone like Krystal, without someone that's representing the ideology and willing to speak the truth in a corporate mainstream space like this. I mean, what would this conversation have been without her, right? Like these two jackoffs that don't know what they're talking about, reveling in each other's ignorance. Thankfully, she was there to inject some truth and like honesty into this discussion and be like, yo, you guys are completely missing the point here.
Yeah, I mean, Wow. I mean, again, I always congratulate everybody for not losing their cool whenever you're around dumbasses like this. It's why Gavin and I would never be allowed on a show like this, because even on a show like Bill Maher, you're only allowed to scream so much before you get asked to leave and never come back, right? And it's just like, Krystal completely maintains her cool. She doesn't ever play the chaotic lefty, which is the default mode that I just fucking enter when I get stressed out, which I apologize for. She is still composed. She's completely articulate. She doesn't give them anything to, ad hominemly, attack her about. And then she just one after another brings up a point that directly shreds the argument that they're making, and just shows that they actually have no idea what they're talking about at all, and they need to pivot to talking points like as if Joe Biden is a fucking enemy of the fossil fuel industry. Do you know how fucking dense you have to be to have fallen for that propaganda? That like he was like, oh, it's a talking point that he's expanded drilling, a talking point that they are now drilling in more places that even Donald Trump wouldn't go after. Are you fucking kidding me? No, it's not. Go to fucking Alaska, guy. Like go to the fucking formerly protected areas and watch them fucking poison it forever for our greed for oil. That is literally happening. And the stock buyback situation, we covered it like a year and a half ago. We were like, it's going to happen exactly again. As soon as you give more money to these companies, what are they going to do? They're going to turn around and enrich themselves by taking all that money, buying up their stocks. And stock buybacks, for people who don't know, it just brings up the shareholder price, right? They're using the money that the government gave them to buy back shares into their company and drive the market value up. That's why you saw all of those fuckers in net worth go up, because if you're a billionaire, your net worth is all like you own fucking 100 million shares in the X company, right? And that company is valued at $100 billion. Well, however many shares of that you have is like your net worth plus like maybe some other shit if you own some other companies, right? That's how it works. And so when the asset value goes up, their net worth just skyrockets. And that's why when they were pumping so much money into it, we saw these guys reach fucking insane heights of wealth. Like Bill Gates became the richest man in the world when he had $50 billion. Now, if you look up Elon Musk's net worth, which actually probably is fucked now. So let's look at Jeff Bezos' net worth. For the day, just to give everybody an idea, it's $129.4 billion. Yeah. And even after Elon's net worth got fucked, he still has $200 billion. So that's 4 times the net worth of when Bill Gates became the richest man in the fucking world. Okay. It fucking crazy. And 50 billion was obviously fucking way too much money. We shouldn't have even one billionaire, obviously, but I'm just giving you guys the scale of what's happened over just the past couple decades.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's the working man, the average Joe. It's his fault that we're in the situation we are now with inflation. What can I say? They gave him too much money. He sucked too hard on the government teat, and now we're all fucked. But yeah, I mean, basically, Bill Maher is just doing standard right-wing talking points at this point. Like, that is a right-wing talking point to say, oh, we gave too much money via stimulus to the people, and that's why we're in the situation we are now. That is straight up like a libertarian right-wing talking point. And honestly, I wouldn't even expect that from Bill Maher, but here we are. So pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, it just shows, how removed the fucking Hollywood Hills are from real life. You know what I mean? And then anybody that makes that much money and they just retreat into the what's that line from F. Scott Fitzgerald? They retreat into their money and their vast carelessness. That's exactly what fucking happens. All these fucking rich assholes, they don't have anything to care about but their sex parties that Bill Maher is always famously attending, and then blaming the poor for whatever's going wrong in this country. It's fucking disgusting.